Bad was the first solo concert tour by Michael Jackson, launched in support of his seventh studio album, Bad. It was a concert tour that followed his groundbreaking album, which was released by Epic Records on August 31, 1987. The tour was sponsored by Pepsi and grossed a total of $125 million, making it the second highest-grossing tour of the 1980s. On June 29, 1987, Jackson's manager Frank DeLeo held a press conference in Tokyo to announce that the 28-year-old Jackson would embark on his first concert tour as a solo artist. It marked his first concerts since the Victory Tour in 1984, which he performed with his brothers as the Jacksons. By the time of the Victory Tour, Michael Jackson had released the immensely successful albums Off the Wall in 1979 and Thriller in 1982. Thriller had firmly established him as a global megastar, and he was often recognized as the most famous and successful member of the Jackson family. While the tour primarily featured the Jacksons performing their hits as a group, Michael also had solo segments in the show. He performed some of his biggest solo hits, including Billie Jean, Beat It, and Wanna Be Startin' Somethin', showcasing his star power and dance prowess. During the tour, Michael took on a more confident and captivating stage presence. He was more in control of his element. It allowed him to showcase his solo success. The Bad Tour had 123 shows, beginning on September 12, 1987 in Japan. The tour began with a 14-date leg across Japan, marking Jackson's first performances in the country since 1973. 9 shows were originally announced, but they sold out within hours, so 5 more were added due to the high demand. The shows cost the sponsors $8.6 million to stage. Jackson arrived at Tokyo's Narita International Airport on September 9, where over 300 reporters and photographers greeted him upon his arrival. Attendance figures for the first 14 dates in Japan totaled a record-breaking 450,000. Crowds of 200,000 were what past performers could only manage to draw for a single tour. Some shows were filmed by Nippon TV, and the September 26th show in Yokohama was broadcast on Japanese television. Jackson wrapped the Japanese leg by donating several personalized items for a charity auction, including clothes and glasses worn during the tour. Jackson left Japan for a rest period in Hong Kong and China before the Australian leg of the tour. Between November 13 and 28, 1987, Jackson performed 5 concerts in Melbourne, Sydney, and Brisbane. The November 28 show in Brisbane was recorded and broadcast. During the concert, Jackson brought Motown legend Stevie Wonder on stage to sing Bad with him. For the North American leg of the tour in 1988, Jackson wanted to revamp the production with a larger stage setup, with the addition of new numbers including Smooth Criminal and Man in the Mirror. Rehearsals for the new setup took place at the Pensacola Civic Center in Florida from January 22 to February 18, 1988. Vincent Patterson, who had worked with Jackson on several videos, was brought in to choreograph and co-direct the tour. The first of 3 Bad Tour concerts at Madison Square Garden in New York City in March 1988 served as a benefit to raise money to the United Negro College Fund. Michael donated the proceeds from his first show on March 3, presenting a check for a sum of $600,000. Michael Jackson's performances at Madison Square Garden in 1988 were some of the most memorable moments in the history of live music. They showcased his immense talent as a singer, dancer, and entertainer and left a lasting impression on fans and the entertainment world. After their shows at Madison Square Garden, Michael performed another 26 shows across North America, before moving on to the European leg of the tour, which began in Rome on May 23. Michael performed 2 concerts to a total of 80,000 fans. The most successful of the European dates were those in London at Wembley Stadium, where demand for the 5 July dates exceeded 1.5 million, enough to fill the 72,000 capacity venue 20 times. Jackson went on to perform 7 sold-out shows at Wembley. The third concert was attended by Diana, Princess of Wales and Prince Charles on July 16, 1988. Jackson originally removed Dirty Diana from this night's performance, worried that he would offend Princess Diana or the royal family. However, the princess informed Jackson prior to the show that it was her favorite song. Michael returned to Wembley on August 26 and 27 for the final 2 sold-out shows. The 7 shows in London were attended by 504,000 people, which entered him into the Guinness World Records, the first of 3 times from the tour alone. The record surpassed the previous attendance record shared by Madonna, Bruce Springsteen, and Genesis. More shows could have been added, but the venue had reached its quota for live performances. The final European show was held in Liverpool, at Aintree Racecourse. Michael wanted to perform in the city because it was home to one of the most famous bands in music history, the Beatles. The concert took place on September 11, 1988. This concert was the largest of the tour, pulling in a huge crowd of over 125,000 fans. Jackson toured the United States for a second time between September 1988 and January 1989, with a return to Tokyo for 9 shows in December, which included a concert on Christmas Day. This would be the last time he toured his native country, aside from 2 shows in Hawaii in 1997 and a handful of one-off appearances in 2001 and 2002. On October 23, 1988, Michael donated $125,000, the net proceeds of the first show in Auburn Hills, to the city's Motown Museum.
No, I can announce it for you. Ladies and gentlemen, Michael Jackson has donated to the Motown Historical Museum, to Mrs. Esther Edwards, a check for $125,000 for the museum. To Mrs. Edwards.
The tour was planned to end in Tokyo, but Jackson suffered from swollen vocal cords after the first of 6 concerts in Los Angeles in November, and the remaining 5 were rescheduled for January 1989. The 5 shows held for Los Angeles commenced on January 16, after Michael rested because of laryngitis. The tour came to an end on January 27, 1989 in Los Angeles. When Michael left the stage, he made a public statement that he intended for it to be his last as a touring artist.
This is going crazy out there. How are you going to stay away from it? I don't know. It is my last.
As he had plans to transition to filmmaking. However, it was followed by the Dangerous World Tour in 1992 and the History World Tour in 1996. In 16 months, Michael Jackson had performed 123 concerts in 15 countries to an audience of 4.4 million fans. The tour grossed over $125 million. Guinness World Records recognized the tour as the largest grossing in history and the tour to play to the most people ever. The tour also helped push the Bad album to heights, selling over 35 million copies. Michael Jackson was one of the most iconic and influential figures in the history of music and entertainment. His greatness can be attributed to a multitude of factors, including his exceptional talent, groundbreaking contributions to music and dance, and his profound impact on popular culture. The 1980s saw Jackson rise to new heights, dominating the music industry and contributing to various charities all over the world. There will never be another artist like Michael Jackson. If you enjoyed this journey through one of the greatest tours in history, then make sure to share this video with fellow fans of the King of Pop, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications for more Michael Jackson content here on MJ Show and Tell. See you on the next video.